4 of my life. Now living in Brooksville, it seems like our house is now haunted. We finally moved. Instead of moving to Tampa, we moved to Brandon. My dad gave me a bad excuse why we cannot move to Tampa, so I guess be with my girlfriend Tammy. My dad had told me that the house they tore down, they covered up the septic tank, so now we cannot move to Tampa. I start crying in front of my dad. I told him, like, no, we gotta move to Tampa. I gotta be with Tammy. She's my girlfriend. My dad looked at me, goes, why? You want to move to Tampa and be with your Tammy? We were just other girls out there, so I told him, I'm like, me and Tammy made a promise together that we'll always be boyfriend and girlfriend. I end up having sex with her. My dad looks at me, goes, having sex with her? What do you mean you had sex with her? I'm like, Dad. He goes, how you learn about sex? I'm like, Dad, I was raped when I was 8 years old. And of course, I had sex with Tammy. As a going away present, my dad gave me the most evilest look ever. I guess when I told him what happened, he gave me, like I said, the evilest look ever. And like I said, his eyes turned this whitish bluish color. When I told him this, like he didn't, like what I did was so wrong. We did move to Brandon, right across the street from my cousin Mary's house. And I made friends, but it was really hard to. I made a girlfriend, but it didn't last that long. I wasn't acting right. How can I explain it? I didn't really grow old in the mind. In the body, I did. My dad gets remarried to a bitch of a woman who tried to be a mom, but she wasn't being a good mom at all. And she starts throwing things away that didn't belong to her. She threw away all my comic books that I had. All these comic books were my mother's comic books that she gave to me. They were special comic books. Believe it or not, and Boris Karloff. These comic books my mother always forced me to read when she was alive. Always asked me to read them, make sure to believe in the comic books, and asked me to believe that I am greater than anything else when she was alive, and I didn't know why she was doing that at first. Now these comic books, my stepmother ended up throwing it away. And I told her, I'm like, no, these are mine. She goes, they draw bugs. I don't want them in the house no more. And my dad told me to leave them in the garbage. And those were also part of my dreams, my imagination, my wonderful dreams, and now they're all gone. Then one night, I ended up having a dream that I ended up waking up, going to the hallway, grabbing hold of a picture that belonged to my stepmother, and then I ended up waking out of bed. My stepmother looked at me and she goes, Dave, where's my picture at? I'm like, I have no idea. And I don't remember what I did with it. Like it wasn't me getting rid of the picture. Now, older, I thought a voice appeared in my head of a little boy saying the picture's in the attic. I haven't told my stepmother yet that the picture's in the attic. When I was growing up in Brandon, my stepmother tried to put me in Boy Scout, Cub Scout, or something like that, trying to get me be with people or kids, have friends. And I felt different around these people, around these kids. And I really miss my mom still. My mom, stepmom, and my dad took me to a counseling for people who lost their loved ones. One day I'm in counseling and group therapy with a whole bunch of other grown-ups and kids who lost their loved ones as well. And they're all telling, the counselor is like asking everybody to what you miss about your so-and-so person. When it got to me, they asked me, like, do you miss your mom? And I did, but for some reason, I ended up saying, no, I don't. They're like, why not? So all of a sudden, I came up with a story. I don't know why I came up with the story, but I came up with a story. I'm like, because my mom visited me 3 times. 3 nights in a row, recently. And they looked at me and like, what do you mean? So all of a sudden, I made up a story right in front of them. And the story came like this. I ended up saying, one night, I went to bed, went to sleep, heard a strange noise, woke me up. When I woke up, I saw this white light in the ceiling. My mother comes out of the light, wearing her favorite green dress with flowers on it. We talked. Then she told me that she was going to be going back to heaven, and next night she'll visit me again. Next night, I woke up, heard a strange noise. Then everything in the room starts moving. The drawers start opening and closing. The windows start opening and closing. The closet door start opening and closing without no noise. Also, I saw this red light from the floor. I look at the floor, all of a sudden I see a pit with flames, arms coming out, and that being my mother. Her dress is all ripped up, and she had cuts all over her body, and she was bleeding. She told me she was in hell, but she's not going to be there long. We talked a little while. She goes back into the pit. I awake next night. She came to visit me again. This time it's a white light again. She comes out of the white light. Her dress is back to normal, like brand new. No cuts over her body. She tells me that I am very special. This, that, and the other. And that was it. When I got done telling the story, everybody in that group, mouth wide open, eyes wide open, and all of a sudden the counselor picks up the phone, calls my dad up, tells everybody to leave, tells me to stay. My dad comes, the counselor tells my dad that I need special help. My dad goes, why? The counselor told him. My dad goes, oh shit, not my son too. Takes me to a psychiatrist, and I heard a voice in my head. I didn't tell my dad I heard a voice, but I heard a voice in my head that said, go with the flow. You're going to have the best time of your life. Went to a mental hospital. They pronounced me as paranoid schizophrenic. And I had a blast of a time. I had so many friends. All the counselors were best friends to me, I guess. All the staff members. I had a girlfriend. Her name was Sandy. And strange things happened while I was there. First strange thing happened was we had a group meeting with all this patients and staff members, and they're talking about there's a new drug on the street. Something made me raise my hand. And the counselor looks at me, his name's Gary. He looks at me and goes, what is it, Dave? I'm like, I know the name of the drug. He looks at me and goes, you do? What is it? So I said, bazooka. He looks at me, he goes, what? Bazooka. Then I told him what it's made out of. I told him it's crack, LSD, and some other drug together. He just looks at me with a weird look. And he goes, how in the hell do you know the name of the drug and what it's made out of? You've been here this whole time. I've been in USF for like 3 months, and there's a new drug just came out. Everyone left. He told me to stay. He looks at me and goes, Dave, how in the hell do you know the name of the drug? I'm like, I dreamed about it last night. And apparently I did dream about it last night. That night. He goes, holy mackerel. He goes, okay, he lets me go. Like I said, I had a blast at the time at USF. There was levels. There's F level to A level. F level, you have no privileges. A level, you have the max privilege. And when you start, you're on C level. Like I said, I was going out with Sandy to find out Sandy had HIV. And at that time, no one really knew about HIV, so they quarantined her. And then 2 days later, they moved her somewhere else, and the last time I saw her was at USF. I got my tip of my finger chopped off. Then, of course, when I got to A level, 2 days later, they relocate me, my parents, moved me to a open facility. Was there for a year and a half, 2 years, whatever, I don't remember really. There, I had a lot of best friends. Every girl wants to go out with me, or just about every girl wants to go out with me, not all of them. I had a out-of-body experience when I was there. The out-of-body experience happened like this. It was nighttime, I was sleeping, all of a sudden I woke up and went straight into the girls' room, the girls' dorm. And I was going out with a girl named Kirsty Wolf at the time. I watched her get out of her bed. Apparently she was really hot. She takes off her nightgown. She was naked underneath her nightgown and goes back to bed. That morning I woke up and we're outside with a whole bunch of other patients. And I ended up looking at Kirsty. I'm like, Kirsty. She looks at me and goes, yes. I'm like, did you by any chance get out of your bedroom, out of your bed last night and take off your nightgown and then go back to bed? She looks at me and she goes, how in the hell did you know that? So I told her what happened. When I got done telling her what happened, there was another patient. She was like into goth and also gets into psychic stuff. She looked at me and she goes, you know what what happened to you? I'm like, what's that? She goes, you had an out-of-body experience. I was thinking, like, what the hell is out-of-body experience? I'm like, okay. Now, I got out of the treatment center. And when I got out of the treatment center, I closed myself up. What I mean by that, I never opened my thoughts up out in the real world. I mean, I went by day by talking, but not really talking like what's on my mind. Because then, of course, when I was growing up, besides my mom, nobody else ever puts me aside to see what's going on with me, what's on my mind. I kept myself shut up, and I'm still doing it again. And during my school year, when I was 15, I only had my sophomore year, I only had one friend named David. Before I went to the treatment center, he was a nerd. Buzz cut, glasses, polo shirts, dress pants, and everybody picks on him, and I did too. When I got out of the treatment center, he was totally different. Long hair, no glasses, wearing contacts, black shirt with, of course, logos of the bands, blue jeans, jacket, blue jean pants. I ended up started working at Wendy's, and one day I was at home and I had a lot of questions. My dad wasn't home, my stepmother was, and I had to start asking her a lot of questions, and she was answering them. Then my stepmother told me to stop. She goes, I'm gonna go take a shower. When I get done, you're gonna ask me all these questions some more. She goes, just wait 15 minutes. After 15 minutes is over with, come find me.